In the 19th century, developed countries from Europe decided to invade underdeveloped countries of Africa. They established their rules and dominated these countries because they had strong military power. African people were forced to obey European rules and to adopt their customs. Nowadays, people think that globalization is bad for underdeveloped countries. Thanks to globalization, however, these countries have grown and they have developed new infrastructure. Thanks to globalization, it's possible to travel by railway, which would be possible without globalization effects. Developed countries decided to invest in those underdeveloped countries with the aim of helping the population. Cecil Rhodes had a brilliant idea in the 19th century. It was to connect Africa from north to south, from Ciudad del Cabo, South Africa, to Egypt by railway. At the moment it works, but there's a part which is not built around Sudan and Uganda.
Another positive point of globalization is the construction of roads around Africa. It's possible because of globalization, and it's an advantage to underdeveloped countries that use it every day.
Developed countries that were in Africa during the colonization were looking for raw material. The principal raw materials that they were looking for were oil, gold, and diamonds. They expropriate the African lands, but they improve the African fortune. However, the developed countries retain an important amount of the benefits.
The developed countries also took care of the health of the African population, and they supported the population with vaccines and medicines techniques to improve their health. Therefore, they achieved that they wanted to make it real. They also built hospitals and schools.
At the beginning of the 19th century, developed countries colonized many African countries and began to grow coffee and cocoa in these countries. Now coffee contributes more than 20% to the income that these countries obtain with the export of agricultural products. In addition, countries such as Ivory Coast 38%, Ghana 19%, Nigeria 5%, and Cameroon 5% are in the world's leading cocoa producers.
First of all, the installation of technology in Africa has been difficult, and it is still difficult, but it is getting better. For example, internet penetration in Africa is 18%, significantly lower than the global average of 40%, and little more than 1 in 10 homes is connected to the network. This couldn't be possible without globalization. Thanks to the World Cup, cities of South Africa developed infrastructures and adopted new technology. South Africa received lots of money thanks to the event, and it created a lot of employment.
As a conclusion, in globalization there are bad things like overexploitation or cheap labor. Nevertheless, these countries are richer than years ago due to the globalization. They now have more service and goods, and nowadays their income levels are increasing. Also, deaths in Africa have been reduced due to medical advances. So, considering that reason, we truly believe that globalization has helped to underdeveloped countries in its development.